Bird of Prey 5. El Karuga.
Kapla!
Kapla.
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird o' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird o' Prey 5, Kapla, and welcome to Bed Life for Monday, May 22nd, 2023. Kapla all. And thank you so much to LDG, who gifted a membership, and that membership went to Dan Ben. And thank you so much to Jedi Bill, who gifted a membership, and that went to Deej. And again to Jedi Bill, who just gifted a second membership, and that membership went to Mike Richards. Mike Richards, thank you. Thank you so much, Jedi Bill, LDG, for those gifted memberships. And thank you to the new channel members. Richie Poole was first in the chat with 1 VOC, because he was first. Welcome, Richie. Not Ryan Johnson was second with hello and kapla. Hail Karoga, hail Karoga. Mr. Londell's Groovy Movie says kapla, kapla, Mr. Londell. Stan Lee says barely even a challenge. Last Son of K says kapla bird, and hello to the Oprays. Hail chat, hail Last Son of K. Yitza Lemon says that moment you realize bird is on, so you won't slip into insanity just yet. Hooray, Bird the Savior. Wow. Thank you, Yetza. No pressure. LDG at hashtag Free the Net says go time. Cody Guy waves. Welcome, Cody Guy. LDG says hey to Cody. And yes, and also to Yitza. MRL Notra Richie Last Son. I have no idea what that doesn't seem like it's English. I don't know what it is. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says kapla, Birdle in 3. Congrats, Gorilla. I think it took me 5. Birdle in 5 today. Yvette, the lovely Yvette says good evening, Bird. And everyone, good evening to the lovely Yvette. And Forza Jersey Forza Jersey using his 12-month Karogan Orphan membership chat says, down with Kurdistan. Hail Karoga. How's it going? How's it going, Forza? I'm going to get into a more detailed explanation of how it's going in a few minutes. The quick answer is it's going. It's going. The Last Son of K says, hey to LDG. Words and Pictures says, has the show finished already? No, I was a minute late. A minute late. Yvette says, hey to Words. Jedi Bill says, Kapla, brother warrior, Berto Prey. And all should hail Karoga. Absolutely. Thank you, Jedi Bill. Yvette says, hey to Gorilla. And Words and Pictures says, it's good to see Yvette. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Hello, 47. LDG at Free the Net says 22222 222222222X. And Yvette with a £2 sterling super chat. Fingers crossed, kissing Dax for all of you. But again, we got, it's a fake. But thank you, Yvette. Captain Infinity with some popcorn. Enjoy it. Yvette says bonjour to 47. And we got Deej with his gifted membership. Cody Guy saying hey to LDG. Sean PRK says Kapla Berto Prey. Hope you and the family are doing well today. Thank you, Sean. Formerly Moxley. I hope you are doing well. Mike Richards. Greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Berto Prey 5 and chat. Greetings, Mike Richards. It's been too long since I've heard that in a bed life. Yvette says, hey to Cody. Sean PRK says, I don't doubt it. 47 says, bonjour to Yvette. Yvette says, hey. The Random Venice says, greetings from the future. Greetings, future daddy man. Sean PRK says, from now on, it's gonna be under one roof. Yvette says, hey to Daddy Yosef. And Sean says, we, the people. Absolutely. Words and Pictures has got Flybird. Good to be here. Good to hear you. Hail, Karoga. Good to see you, Words and Pictures. And Forza Jersey with a $2 super chat says, kissing Dax? Maybe? Question mark. Lol, maybe. We'll find out any second, Forza. Any second. Mike Richards, thanks, Jedi Bill. Hakeem says, hey, Bird and chat, hope your day is well. Kapla Hakeem, hope your day is well. Carlo Albanese says, hey, hi. Right. And yes, it was Kissing Dax. Forza Jersey got us some Kissing Dax. Big thanks. Big thanks to Forza Jersey, the first hero of today. And Hakeem, I hope your day is going well. Carlo, I also hope your day is as well as can be. And he says, hail, Karoga. Jedi Bill says, no problemo. No problemo. Problemo. I used to know how to pronounce that. Carlo Albanese says, help get me through this night with some bed life. Right. And John Aragi with a $1 donation, super chat, and another Kissing Dax. Today is your day, John Aragi, or to be more precise, it's our day. 2 Kissing Daxes in a row. Awesome. And I haven't manipulated the odds today. Carlo, I would love to help get you through this night with some bed life. The Random Menace says hello to Yvette. JP says, okay, why the hell am I green? When did this happen? You became green when you got a membership to the channel. If you didn't buy the membership, then you were gifted a membership by somebody recently. More than likely LDG or Jedi Bill. I think you were LDG. Carlo is saying it's green. And JP's puts in the custom number 5 emoji that channel members can use. Sean says hello to Yvette. Gorilla says, hail on, Karoga.
It's a fake.
Okay, softball size hail on the way. And Hakeem with a $1 super chat gets, it's a fake. No kissing Dax. No kissing Dax for Hakeem. And Forza Jersey with another $2 super chat says, win the Mega Billions or Powerball. Lol, maybe. Maybe I will remember to play. I'll try to remember to play. Yvette says, why do I always get it's a fake? It's just the way the math works out, Yvette. It's random. Gorilla says, hey to Yvette.
Scanning. Indications negative at this
Forza
time.
Jersey got eyebrow Dax. Not kissing Dax. Eyebrow Dax. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Carlos says, Yvette may be telling you something. Jedi Bill says, Kaplata Words and Pictures. And Words and Pictures says, hey to Captain Finity. Captain Finity? I didn't see Captain Finity. Kapla Captain Finity, if you're here. Words and Pictures says, good to see Jedi Bill. Jedi Bill says, hail to Carlo Albanese. And Not Ryan Johnson says, rip to Ray Stevenson. Yes, famous actor Ray Stevenson passed away earlier today. It was released. I'll be honest, I had no idea who Ray Stevenson was. Not by name, anyway. When I looked him up, he was in the Thor movies. I guess I would have possibly recognized him, but I can't say I was a particular fan of the guy. But very sad to hear, as I would be for anybody who passed away at the relatively young age of 51. Yeah. Apparently he was already, I'm sure he's already completed filming his role for the upcoming Ahsoka Star Wars series on Disney Plus. So he may have been plans for him to be in future seasons. I don't know, but probably. Jedi Bill says hello to Not Ryan Johnson. And Carlos says, don't forget to like the bird. That would be very appreciated. Thank you, Carlos. Not Ryan Johnson says, hail, good sir, to Jedi Bill. Words and Pictures yells, boom, to Forza Jersey for that kissing Dax. Yvette says, nice one. Forza says, you're welcome, gentlemen, with some Karoga emojis. Words and Pictures says, Dax attack, many smoochings. Last on our case is Bird, are you going to set it up for Pride Month like you did for Lesbian Awareness Week? I don't think so. I think just Lesbian Awareness Week was enough. JP says, well, doobly-dee-doo. I'm feeling lucky, says Forza Jersey. Words and Pictures gives a thumbs up. Cody Guy is sad. Cody Guy, what's the matter? Pop Culture Curator says, hello, guys. Kapla. Hope you're doing well. Pop Culture Curator, you need to feel better soon, man, and get your ass to the doctor or the hospital, wherever it is you got to go. I don't know the details, but I know you're not feeling great. So please do what you can and to feel better soon. Forza Jersey says thanks to Yvette. I don't know if you guys can hear Sassy barking in the background, but there's somebody at the door, so Sassy was barking. I'll give her a minute. Mom will pray a second to talk to the person at the door. Forza says thanks to Yvette, the lovely Yvette. So the question came up was, how was I doing? I'll be honest. It's been a tough week. It has been a tough week. Now, it's been a tough week for everybody. For those of you who know, who follow what's going on, we've had friends of the channel, friends of this YouTube community. We've had some who have had immeasurable loss this week. The worst type of pain that could be inflicted upon somebody has hit us. We've had other friends of the community feel so terrible that they attempted to self-delete themselves, that only by luck or chance they managed not to. We've had people with serious physical illness this week, and in addition, we've had all the usual bad days that we have. We had some good news that some person that had been missing for a while is still with us and is able to rejoin the group, which was it was some great news. Some great news I got yesterday, and I'm talking about you, Mike Richards. We were worried. Now, I don't know that you're out of the woods or not. It just that you're with us. You were able to communicate with us once again. I hope you're okay, but at least you're here for now. Because I was afraid. This was a tough week. Tough week for family. We had a lot of bad memories. A lot of bad memories for the month of May. And it was tough. Even me personally, I was not in a great place. But the other day I got a message from a friend I wasn't expecting, and it cheered me up. It cheered me up. It didn't do a lot because I was still feeling very, very down for a lot of people I knew, but it was a little bit of sunshine in the dark. I think it was enough for the time. But it has been a rough week for this whole community. And I just hope everybody can find their little ray of sunshine or whatever it is you need to help get you through. And if I'm part of that, I appreciate it. I don't understand how, but I don't need to. I don't really need to. I just appreciate it to be there. Mike Richards with the little sassy emoji. Forza Jersey says, Bird, are you going to buy the Pride clothes at Target? They look better after drinking Bud Light. Okay, so this morning I saw, and it's on Twitter, and it's a picture of a pallet of Bud Lights, and it says Walmart everyday low price, $1.78 for like a 12-pack or something of Bud Light. And there is no way in hell that is a real picture. Listen, I'm all for boycotting, but there is no way that Walmart is unable to sell a 12-pack of Bud Light at $1.78 for a dozen cans of beer. I mean, I don't drink beer, but I would be buying them at that price just to use as paperweights. I mean, that is ridiculous. That had to be a photoshopped image. There is no way any Walmart in this country is unable to sell some beer at $1.70 for 12 cans. That's what, 50 cents a can, basically. Less, no, 10 cents a can. 12 beers, yeah, it'd be like $1.14, $1.15. It'd be like 15 cents a can. 15 cents a can. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's 15 cents of aluminum in a can of beer. So it's just ridiculous. That is not real. And yet it's getting shared and reshared, and people will believe it. People are going to believe it. Jedi Bill says it's just Monday. The week has just started. Yeah, but I'm talking about from last week. Forza Jersey says, I've been busy with work. Sorry to hear the bad news. I'm praying for everyone. Forza, thank you. And you know, sometimes it's just better to be busy with work. Stanley says, Forza, yeah, the Dove and Bud Light people should get together. LDG says, rest in peace to my godmother who was laid to rest last week. Best wishes to all who have had tragedy recently, seemingly more than usual recently. That's right. LDG had his godmother pass away. Like I said, it's just been a very rough week. Forza says agreed to Stan Lee. Jedi Bill says thank you. Last Son of K says agreed to LDG. Dan Venn says hi, welcome. Dan Venn. Forzer says anytime. Brother to Jedi Bill. Mike Richards is Bird of Prey. Thanks for the support. Glad to be back. I am glad you are back. And the Random Menace is also good to see you back. Words and Pictures is LDG. Thank you for sharing about your godmother. So sorry for your pain. Personally, for me, she reached my heart after she left. Thank you. Cody Guy yells lies. Mike Richards says greetings to the Random Menace. Jedi Bills is indeed Bird of Prey. This month has been rough. Rest in peace, son of a red shirt. We love you, Bird of Prey, and the entire Bird of Prey 5 family. Thank you, Jedi Bill. And that's right, son of a red shirt. Earlier this month, this has been a tough month. Not just a tough week, a tough month. JP says alcoholics don't care about politics, and that price, it would all be gone. I agree. And I mean, at that price, it would be stupid not to take it. But then there's the reality of the situation, and I don't want to turn it into a politics discussion per se, but there's so many fake videos and pictures on Twitter that people are overestimating the effect the so-called boycott is having. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you guys know I would be the first one to support a boycott of Anheuser-Busch or anybody. You know, it's a culture war. And you're like, well, I support anybody who is on my side, or for the most part, I support anybody who's against my enemy. You know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. But I don't think people realize that by the very nature of launching a boycott against a brand, you're also calling out to everybody who thinks the opposite of you. They're going to buy that brand just as a fuck you to you. I mean, I know that's what I used to do when people would say, oh, we're going to stop buying a certain brand because they're not woke. Well, even if I didn't need any whatever it was, I bought an extra one or two or a case as a fuck you to the people who were boycotting it. And now you can say, well, we're going to boycott it because it's woke, and all the quote unquote woke people are going to say, well, we're going to buy it because it is. And in the end, I don't think the amount of Bud Light sold really all that much changed. There's pictures of it, quote unquote, not selling, but those pictures could easily have been taken when they filled the store up and the case up. And you know, we clearly have pictures taken where the price on it has just been digitally manipulated. There's certainly nowhere are they selling Bud Light for $1.78 a 12-pack, no matter what you might have seen on Twitter. Okay, so is it $17.88 a 12-pack? I don't know what the usual price is for beer, but I'm guessing it's still pretty close to what it was. Miss Lindell says Anheuser-Busch is almost giving its beers away. That probably wasn't fake. Check the earnings report for Anheuser-Busch. You know, I will, Mr. Lundell, but it was fake. There's no way. Gorilla says Bud Light is trying to get it sold to avoid an expired recall. I just don't think that you understand just how cheap that would make it. I mean, at that point, they might as well just throw it out. It's not worth the expense of selling. Bless you, Mama Frey. They could take the tax loss and make more money. You understand? You could make more money with a tax loss. Captain Fandom Nerd says hello. Stanley says trucks would spend more than that on fuel. Exactly. Exactly. It wouldn't pay. It wouldn't pay to even ship them to the stores at that price. Words and pictures is Captain Fandom Nerd. Hey, brother. Good to see you. Jedi Bill says hello to Captain. LDG says cheap beer is thicker than clickbait morals. Mike Richards says Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Thanks. Glad to be back. Hospital food sucks. Oh, it sure does. Jedi Bill says so sorry to hear the LDG. And Gorilla says, Mike, you were in the hospital? Yes, he told us the other night. Or he told me the other night. Yeah. Random Menace says, I was boycotting Bud Light before it was cool. It was a far cry from the Czech Budvar. Even as somebody who ignores beer, I know it tastes bad. Some say like filtered horse piss. That I can't confirm. LDG, thanks everyone. Captain Fandom Nerds says hey to Words and Pictures. Stanley's is Vertebrae in Canada, an official campaigned on a platform of lowering taxes to 24 to a 24 case was $24, $1 a beer. Lowering taxes to $1 a beer. I don't know what you guys charge in taxes. Seems a bit excessive. Mike Richards is to Gorilla's Random Thoughts. I spent March in the hospital, April in physical rehab, and still recovering at home. Pop Culture Curator says hello to everyone in the chat. Sorry I can't respond. Driving. Jedi Bill says it's okay, Pop Culture Curator, we understand. And Gorilla says hope you're feeling better, Mike. Jedi Bill says hello to Gorilla. Miss Lundell says check the earnings report. Okay. We'll check the earnings report in a few minutes. Mike Richards says thank you to Gorilla. Forza says Budweiser's and Coors situation is what it is. Laughing noises from Yugling. JP says it's all propaganda. Gorilla says it was $11.99 a 12-pack. That makes more sense. The Random Menace says I don't understand why the company chose Dylan Mulvaney as the face of their inclusion campaign. That person is a joke, a very bad one. And there are way better trans people available. JP's is lolling, really, Joseph. The last son of cases, it's fun making fun of the stupidity that crops up because of ESG. But in the end, I'm going to be where I've been the last 4 years, sober. ESG? I'm not sure I know what ESG means in that context. Forza Jersey says the Random Menace. True moral of the story: don't make business decisions based on what trends on TikTok. Stanley says, yeah, natty light or nothing. Random Menace says, once the beer is in the stores, it is cheaper to give it for free than take it back. And Stupid has donated $1.49 and got kissing dacks. Thank you so much, Stupid, whoever you are. And Stupid says, I might be stupid, but who confuses K7 and regular 1? I thought it was K7 in like HD. Okay? They look basically the same. God damn it. But thank you for the kissing dack. Regular 1. I was wondering why it was the movie Enterprise. Okay, also, when I'm doing Jep Nerdy, I'm thinking of TV shows. I'm not thinking about movies. And I know I should be, but I'm just not. Okay, and I looked it up, okay? I wasn't going to make a big deal of it because the judge's rules are final and whatever. But, okay, Iran, aka Persia, not Asia, not in Asia. But I still won. I still won. Stan Lee says lowering taxes so they could sell beer for $1 a bottle. They have a minimum sale price for booze. So $1 bottle in case 24 is the cheapest they could possibly offer. Words and Pictures says Mike Richards, I hope for a good outcome for you. You have my love and prayers. Jedi Bill says, I really hate KK and now hate Disney is the evil corporation and mega woke needs to end. With laughing faces. Words and Pictures waves at Bill. Mr. Lundell says ESG equals environmental, social, and governance. Investing refers to a set of standards for a company's behavior used by socially conscious investors to screen potential investments. And Gorilla also says environmental, governance, and social scores. Forza Jersey says triple kissing Dax. Mike Richards says thank you to Words and Pictures. Forza says ESG is woke BS. Jedi Bill is going SOB. Dan Van says don't have Jeopardy in England. Jep Nerdy, Dan Van, Jep Nerdy. It's on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern on the John DeMarco YouTube channel. Forza Jersey says down with woke BS. I'm all for being down with woke BS. I just don't know that it's a viable business strategy or I don't know that calling a boycott is effective anymore. Not when there are so many people on the other side. You know, if it was something that was like 80-10 or 80-20 or 90-10 or even 70-30, yeah, maybe you could get away with a boycott. But when we have something that's 50-50 or close enough to 50-50 that for every person you get to boycott, you have another person that does the opposite just to stick it to the people boycotting, well, you don't really hurt the brand. and eventually the people boycotting come back. Professor Brainy Specs says Kapla Professor. And Professor Brainy Specs puts a link to the next Jeff Nerdy this Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And Kapla, again, Low Specs Linux laptop. I think I said hello, but in case I didn't, welcome. So, Miss Lundell says Midnight Edge did a video on Bud Light situation about a week ago. You should check it out. It explains the situation and what's happening. I'm sure they did a video, but I don't know that it's. I did look into the stock prices, and they didn't seem to agree with what I was being told. Oh, let's check. Let's check. And I can't spell it. Anheuser Busch stock price. Okay. Okay. So Anheuser-Busch stock price. This is over 1 day, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, year to date. Let's check year to date. Okay. So at the beginning of this year, it was about $59 a share. It is currently $58.83 a share. Now, okay, at the lowest price earlier this year, it was down to $58.08. At some point in March, it started climbing. It climbed to a high point of $66. Now, look at the graph. Okay, the graph looks like it doubled, but understand that's the bullshit that they use. It didn't double because we're only looking at the price between $55 and $65. Okay, maybe 70 at the tops. So, you know, this doesn't mean it doubled. The low, it went from $58 to $66. Okay, so 58 to 66, $8. It went up $8 and it went down $8. Okay, this means nothing. This really means nothing. And let's look at over an entire year. It's way above where it was a year ago. Okay, right now it's at $58. A year ago, it was at $55. So it is noticeably higher than it was a year ago. And what was it? 3 years ago, it was $46. Oh, do I want to share the screen? Thank you, Yosef. Thank you. Yes, I did want to share the screen. So 3 years ago, the price of the stock was $40. Now it's 59 abouts. Okay. So that's 3 years. Okay. This, look at its high price was actually in 2021, July 5th, 2021 was its high. Okay. And if we go 1 year ago, the price was 56. Today it's 58. So a year, we're up from a year ago, from beginning of the year. The beginning of the year, the price was $59.60. It's $59 right now. So it's basically the same price as it was 5 months ago. The stock goes up, the stock goes down. The stock goes up, the stock goes down. Over the long term, the stock is doing relatively well. The high part of the stock was January 2016, the early part of 2016. 2016 to 20, yeah. Okay, the stock started going up in January, well, this is by year. In 2010, the stock was $50. Okay. 2015, the stock was 110. 2020, the stock was down to 45. This accounts for splits, Mark. And now the stock is at $59, which is where it's been more or less for the last year. There is no fall off on stock. So I'm sorry, but if anybody tells you the stock has been affected by this boycott, it hasn't. There's no mark. There is nothing you can see in anything long-term, resembling long-term, that affects the stock. Here, looking at the single year, it has been much higher and much lower over the last year than it has been since this. Okay, I guess you could say that right about here, maybe at best, what, the beginning of May, at best, was the start of this. So, okay, from the beginning of May to now, it lost 64, no, 63, let's say 64. So it lost $5, 10%, but it's a stock that has gone up and down 20% easy over the last year. It just doesn't make any effect. Okay. I don't like it. Don't get me wrong. I want to see a giant fucking cliff. I wish there was a cliff, but there's no cliff. There's no cliff. And anybody who tells you there's a cliff, they're lying to you. If anybody tells you the boycott's been wildly successful, maybe it has been in the stores. I don't know. I haven't been to a store, but it hasn't been successful on the stock price. I don't need to be able to go to a store to tell you that. Gorilla says an $8 drop is pretty significant. But then what have all the other drops been? Well, I mean, they're not all because of boycotts. I mean, you had a high price here, and a month later you had a low. You had a high price here, you had a low. High, low, high, low, high, low. I mean, it is literally just anything that goes up will come down. There's an entire history of the stock peaking and the stock crashing. The stock peaks and crash. And crashing is a wrong word to use. It peaks and it lows. It peaks and it lows. And for the most part, any company that's, stable, relatively stable company, probably like Coca-Cola, a company that's not growing nor crashing, that's exactly what it does. Its stock price goes up, its stock price goes down. Stock price goes up, stock price goes down. Anyway. Mike Richards says greetings to Professor Franny Specs. Random Menace says Dan Ben, Jep Nerdy is outside of normal hours for us. I watch the streams later. It's a lot of fun. Professor Brainy Specs says greetings to Mike Richards. Was wondering where you were. Forza Jersey says fun facts. Boycotts and protests don't actually change things. And I hate that. I hate that. I launched a number of boycotts. Granted, I know I didn't get a whole lot of responses, but I wished they did. They make us feel like we have an effect, but I mean, like in all of history, the number of boycotts that have actually affected anything can probably be counted on a single hand. I don't know if that was a boycott. Bob O'Fray says the Boston Tea Party. You weren't there, Bob O'Fray. Dan Ben says, I think the YouTube thing is at 2 a.m., so I can't tune into that. No worries. Last on the K says, I cannot in good conscience call that company by Walt's last name anymore because of ESG. So I call it the Plague Rat because it's systematically infected with wokeness. I hear ya. I hear ya. Yes, Mama Frey. Tell them what?
About your sister's experience when she went to
Sisko Frey's experience when she went to the hotel.
Yeah.
At the center of the rat kingdom.
The what kingdom?
The rat kingdom.
Oh, it's not a like yeah. Now outside of that, she had a very good experience.
So
in a non.
Sisko Frey, as you all know, was recently in Orlando. She met LDG. She had a very nice hotel outside of Disney World, and she enjoyed that immensely. But she wanted to stay. She loves animals, and Charlie likes animals. And apparently there's a hotel inside Disney World where it's like an African safari, and you stay in the hotel, and the animals, literally the giraffes, are supposed to come up to your windows. The rooms have balconies, the giraffes are supposed to be able to reach their head into the balconies, and you can like pet them or something. And you look down and you see like the savannah, and there's zebras and bison and, range animals. And
They can't see your hand movements.
I know they can't see my hand movements.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Sisko Bray went to this hotel, and
Oh, okay. It was over 3 times the price of the 2-bedroom suite she had the first part of the week. But for the last 2 days, she said, what the heck? She'll go and spend the money. It was a 1-bedroom suite that had a living room that the couch opened up. So that was okay. But no room service. Absolutely none. The decor, she said it was supposed to look like it was African, but it actually looked like 1970s whatever. And it did. It looked old and seedy. Anyway, sorry. We just got the mail and Sassy's letting us know. Anyway, it was not a good experience. And yes, you could see the animals from your room. They went to the restaurant the last night they were there. And this was the more exclusive restaurant where you normally wouldn't go with toddlers. But they went with 2 toddlers. The kids ate, and unfortunately, Charlie got sick before they even left the restaurant. And followed by the other child getting sick, Diana getting sick, Mary getting sick.
Everybody got sick.
And the first part of the week, they had a great time. They had Cracker Barrel deliver their breakfast. I love Cracker Barrel. But anyway, I don't think the inside that park's places are giving the service they used to. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. No, Sisko Bray got suckered.
Welcome back, Mike Richards. Okay.
Absolutely. So Sisko Bray got suckered into paying the Disney money and did not get a great Disney experience. Plenty of, Charlie and the whole gang left a lot of bodily fluids all over the place. So I'm sure they're not the first nor the last to have to do that. So thank you, Disney. You another happy
I'll just
happy,
leave this here for you. Probably a third policy.
So now the other problem I was having today, and I knew this was going to be an issue, and I wanted to tell my insurance agent the first time she called that I don't care about trying to save $100 on my insurance policy. Just renew it and let it be done with it. But she insisted that she could get me a better rate and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, fine, then okay, whatever, I'll sign it. And I hate changing things that are working. And I'm not really in a position to say I don't want to save $100, because obviously I do want to save $100. But it's homeowners insurance. It's paid from my bank. It's not like it's $100 less of a check I've got to write. It's $100 cut into the escrow account, so it's what, $8 a month, possibly, that I'll have to write a check out for less a year from now when they redo the escrow account. Anyway, I should have just said, just don't redo it. Just let it be. I'll pay the difference. But I didn't. And I blame myself for saying, okay, yeah, whatever. And so she supposedly was doing what she had to do. And I signed the papers and said, okay, now you'll get the papers. And then I got a call back. She's like, uh-oh, there was a mistake. And I was like, She's like, no, don't worry. We'll take care of it. I just need you to sign it again. And I was like, fine, whatever. I signed it again. But already I was like, God, this is already too much work. Okay. And then I get the report. Oh, the bank sent the payment. Everything was good. So I was like, okay, good. And I sent her the email that the bank, because I got notice from my bank that my bank sent the payment. Everything was good and she was happy. I was happy. Okay, all this is good. And then today I got another notice from my bank that my bank sent a second payment for the second policy. So now I have two policies, both paid in full on the house. And of course, when I called her back today, she's like, oh, don't worry, it'll send a refund automatically, because that's when we thought the bank paid the same policy twice. But then when I went and looked at my account closer, the bank didn't pay the same policy twice. I have two policies under two separate numbers now on the house, and the bank paid both of them. So the bank isn't going to send it. The policy company, the insurance company, is not going to send me an automatic refund because I had two different accounts that were both paid. So I had to message her. And of course, when I called her back, she didn't pick up. Now, did she not pick up because she didn't want to talk to me? I don't know. I have no reason to think that. The woman has been nothing but nice. But it's a bit suspicious that she still hasn't called me, because every other time I've ever spoken to this woman or left a message, she's gotten back to me extremely quickly. Now, I've also emailed her and just checking. She has yet to email me back. So now I'm starting to wonder, is something more going on? I hope not. But I'm sorry. Joseph also sent a picture in his message. Alexander, are you failing chemistry? I will quiz you. What is barium? And Alexander says, that's what you do after you kill him. And Worf is laughing, happy. You bury him after you kill him. You get it? You get it? I get it. You bury him. Very, very good. Very good. So I don't know what's going on with my homeowner's insurance. Is it the biggest deal in the world? No. I'm sure I'll get it sorted out. Worst case is I've got double insurance. I mean, yeah, I guess from the same company, they're not going to pay twice. So I'll get that sorted out. It's just so annoying. I don't have enough time already, and like the whole point of an insurance agent is to like make it so you don't have to deal with stuff like this, right? I mean, if I wanted to deal with this type of stuff, I would just do the insurance myself. Stan Lee says, what's the summary? They hired a transvestite as a spokesman, and some of their legacy fans didn't like it and boycotted. I don't think that's the proper terminology, but basically. Mr. Lundell says the stock prices don't tell the story. Wall Street types are betting against consumers. The actual sale of Anheuser-Busch products is what counts. Is it? The Random Menace says, Dan Ben, in the future, I am from Slovakia. I keep saying Eastern Europe. However, Slovakia is literally in the geographical center of Europe. Gorilla says, can't see the graph. Sorry about that, guys. Ms. Lundell says, look at the sales figure of the products. People aren't buying the damn beer. Well, it's got to affect the sale price, the stock price at some point. And if it doesn't affect the stock price, then maybe the sale of the beer isn't really a problem. Gorilla says an $8 drop is pretty significant. Yeah, but it wasn't a one day $8 drop. And there's no reason to think the entire $8 is because of this one thing. Dan Benz is Random Menace. I will remember you're in Europe. Daniel's Hot Topic says, hey, Bird, what's up? Welcome, Daniel. Dan Benz says, are we supposed to see a graph? Yeah, you were supposed to. And says, now we see it. Miss Lundell puts in a link to YouTube. Watch this Midnight's Edge and then decide. Okay. JP's is once again propaganda from the media. This isn't propaganda. That's just literally the stock price without any propaganda. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Kapla Bird, I just returned to the USA. Welcome back, Saul Leibowitz. Mike Richards says, this stock market report brought to you by Birdco. I'm mad that it's not lower. Don't get me wrong. I want it to be. Dan Benz is watching the stock market channel. Lol. Stan Lee says, hello, hello. Dan Benz is a real in-depth look. It's all relative. It is, Dan Lee. It is. Gorilla says, well, pandemic ended, so people could afford beer, better beer, and went back to work. Stanley says, like people saying Bitcoin crashed. Well, yeah, if you bought it at 30K, but if you bought it at 500, it's still way up. That is absolutely true. Unfortunately, I bought it towards the higher price. JP says, protests do nothing but piss off your fellow man. Stanley says, German Olympics. Yitz 11 says, look how successful the protests in Holland and France were. The big shots can just ignore it and continue with it. It requires guillotines, and even then. The Random Menace says, a girlcott would have been more successful than a boycott. Stanley says, just avoid those hotels with the hourly rates. And Stanley says, Disney is the monkeys spank you. JP says, nothing wrong with hourly rate hotels. Just don't bring a black light. And Jedi Bill with Mamo Frey and Siso Frey emojis. Yit says as hashtag blame LDG. Yes, anything that happens in Florida is LDG's fault. The Random Menace is, what animal can you see from your window? In the hotel, you can see all types of animals. If you mean me personally, I can see Sassy when Sassy's outside, or I can see squirrels and birds. Other dogs, yes. Jedi Bill says, we love you, Mama Pray. Dan Ben says, I've stayed in Disney Hotel, but not in a themed one. Jim's Landscape LLC says, hello, hello, Jim's Landscape. And a puppy video. Awesome. Mike Richards says, thank you to Mama Pray. The Traveler says, Birdo Pray 5, greetings, birds, salty turds, and nerds. Greetings, The Traveler. The Last Son of Kay says, I'm sorry it was so disappointing for your sister and nephew. I'm sure it wasn't cheap, so a second time there may be harder to do in the future. Nothing to be sorry about. I mean, they had a good time in Florida overall. They just ended on a sour note.
The first place she stayed was
Yeah, the first place she stayed was very nice. It was a Hilton.
great.
JP says, oh, you had to speak with the gecko today. You had to speak with the, no, I don't have, Geico. Geico. I used to have Geico for car insurance, but homeowners, I never had Geico for homeowners. Jedi Bill says, hail to the traveler. Dan Venn says, escrow, the thing people don't know what it is. Last on the case says, there's something fishy going on with your insurance, but I do hope it works out. Darth Maul says she's anti-Karogan. My insurance agent? Maybe. The Traveler says, hail to Jedi Bill. Darth Maul says, or she's a former orphan. John Araki says, Bird needs to give insurance companies an offer they can't refuse. LDG says, I will run out and stream a bud check. Will that make you happy, Mr. Lodell? Bet it's all sold out. Actually, LDG, you should do that. You should stream a Budweiser check, mobile, and go around to 3 or 4 places. Some gas stations, assuming gas stations sell beer in Florida, wherever you can buy beer, a gas station, a supermarket, a second supermarket, a bar, and see what's going on. We need on the street. And let's face it, Florida is going to be the most representative. If Florida isn't boycotting it, then no one is. If there's a significant boycott, I would imagine Florida would be leading the way. Because Florida is a heavily Republican state. Certainly more so than New York. Ms. Lundell says corporate earnings are looked at on a quarterly basis. That's what determines stock price. Professor Brainy Speck says, Daniel's Hot Topics, have you started moving yet? So let's see, when's the next quarter? Darth Maul says, the stock dropped quicker than testicles on a hot summer day as you climb into your lifted Jeep steam. Ooch. Daniel says, when it happens, I will start. Admiral Teague says, hail, Birdo Pray 5. Hail, Admiral. Professor Brainy Speck says, Daniel, I'll believe it when it actually happens. Dan Ben says that Disney Star Wars Hotel Galactic Star Cruiser has been announced. It's shutting down. Last days in September. It was way over the top expensive. I heard. Daniel's Hot Topic is okay. I guess I'll have to show my apartment if I get it and turn on my camera so you can see it. Yeah, well, that would be nice, Daniel, on a stream. People would be happy to see your apartment. Darth Maul says Jeep seat, not Jeep stream, sorry. Jeep seat. Jeep seat. Daniel says, wait, hold on. This is the Sisko day. Today, Bird. All hail the Sisko. Yes, it is the Sisko day, Daniel. And I've been watching quite a few streams about Sisko day, and that was something I was going to bring up. So we got some dear bops. So earlier today, not that much, or not long before I came on, there was a, and I'll put the link when it's set to the time. It's set to the time. Where Tawny Newsome, who's the actress who plays Mariner on Star Trek Lower Decks, was on the panel, and also on the panel was Celia Rose Gooding, who plays Uhura on Strange New Worlds. And they were talking about, and also on this panel was Sirach Lofton, who plays Jake Sisko on Deep Space Nine. And they were talking about just how different it is, because like Sirach Lofton was talking about how when he was on Deep Space Nine, you know, other than Avery Brooks, who was obviously Captain Sisko, there weren't a lot, you know, there weren't any other black actors. And so black culturally, I guess, like there wasn't anyone to really talk to about things. And it was just him and Avery, and I guess he didn't get to speak to him a lot. And so Tawny Newsome and Celia we're talking about how, you know, things are different now, although Tawny Newsome brought up about how there was this, and I'll play it so you hear her say it, this white guy. Now she says he's a well-liked white guy, so she doesn't want to use his name, but she's like, this white guy tried to tell me he didn't know who Beyonce was, and he never heard a song of Beyonce, and he wouldn't be able to identify Beyonce. And she's like, I mean, maybe I'm taking it wrong, but the way I take it, it sounds to me like she thinks this guy is lying to her. Like he's purposely saying that as a way to insult her or to insult black people. Like, you people don't matter. I don't even know who Beyonce is. That's the way I take it, that she meant it. I don't know. But to be completely honest, and her argument for this guy not knowing who Beyonce is, haven't you been in a Walgreens lately? Now, I'll grant you that whoever she was talking to out in the real world does, you know, probably walk, have the ability to walk, and probably drive or be driven, and probably goes out to shop, at least on occasion. But even if I was walking and driving and shopping, I don't think that would give me any particular more reason to know who Beyonce was. I cannot name for you. If somebody came in with $1 million to the front door right now and said, name me a song Beyonce sings, a Beyonce song. If I couldn't look it up on the computer, right now, I swear to God, I cannot name you a Beyonce song. I don't have it. I don't know. I don't care. I never cared. I don't listen to common music. I don't listen to any popular music. If somebody said, name me, I don't even know. She said Beyonce, so I know Beyonce. Okay? If somebody said, I don't know who a white equivalent of Beyonce is right now. I don't know. Justin Bieber? I mean, I could probably name a very old Justin Bieber song if I thought long enough. But I don't know any popular song. Somebody said, name a song that came out in 2021 or later. I could not do it. I could not. If it was 2020, I couldn't do it. I don't know. I have no idea of a song that's come out in the last 3 years. Fuck. I don't know if I know the songs came out in the last 5 fucking years. The last time I knew of a modern song, it was from Now That's What I Call Music, like 12. And I think they're up to 60 or 90 or 100. I have no fucking idea. It's nothing against Beyonce. I don't know a fucking song. But yeah, that would be me. I couldn't tell you. Now, what does Beyonce look like? I know she's black, and I think she like has blondish hair. Okay, but beyond that, could I pick her out of a lineup? And that's not because she's black. It's just because, you know, it's where you have to match people up. No, I really don't think I could. If somebody said, well, you know, maybe, you know, if she was up against other singers, I don't think I could pick her out. You know, if she was up against other famous black women, like, okay, well, that's Harriet Tubman, and that's the woman from the bus protests. Then that's okay. That would be Beyonce, the person that looks like a 20 something woman. Yeah, maybe I could do that. But from 5 people that were dressed like Beyonce, no, I don't think I could. Anyway, here's this, and I put in the link. So if anybody wants to listen to it, let me put the audio up so you guys can listen to it.
He's a nice man. He's fine. And everyone loves him, so I don't want to, whatever. But this white man tried to tell me that he had never heard, this was in 2019, he tried to tell me he had never heard a Beyonce song, and he wouldn't recognize one if he heard it, and he wouldn't recognize her. And I was like, sir, first of all, have you been in a Walgreens? Yes, you've heard a Beyonce song.
Like,
how do you know I heard a Beyonce song?
Please. But like, this was a normal thing for this man to say. He was just like, yeah, I've never heard her music. And I was like, I am an alien from another planet. I don't understand how you walk through the world. So yeah, I'm glad you were around someone who had heard Tupac, but who you could also.
Now, Tupac, I'll be honest, I heard Tupac. I could probably identify a Tupac song. He has a very distinctive voice. But Beyonce, no, I couldn't. And I feel a bit insulted here. I'm not going out. I have nothing against Beyonce. I'm not saying Beyonce is bad or inferior or anything like that. She's probably very talented. I don't like modern fucking music. Okay?
change subject, before you do, I have two quick stories that kind of,
Oh, Mama Frey, what do you want to say?
two things
Okay, Mama Frey is coming.
that happened to me.
Come over, Mama Frey. Speak into the
Into the camera. Hi,
into the
camera.
microphone.
I first of all have to say hello, everyone. Hello. I can say, in all honesty, that my son's knowledge of popular music and mine are about the same. In fact, mine probably worse, if that could be. But honestly, this happened 2008 or 2009, the beginning of the year before Bird got sick. I was working for JetBlue Airlines at Newark Airport, and I was a customer service supervisor, and it was a pretty long line, and one of the agents at the desks came over to me and said, "Can I take Missy Elliott off the line and take her to the plane?" I said, "Miss Elliott? Am I supposed to know Miss Elliott?" He goes, "Not." He says, "Missy Elliott." I said, "Mike, I don't know what you're talking about. Is she somebody I'm supposed to know? You never heard of her?" I said, "No, I haven't." He said, "Well, she bought 6 seats. There's just 2 people and 2 dogs. She has the whole last row on the plane, and she's a famous," I think he said singer. See, to this day, I don't know what she was famous for. But I said, "Yeah, okay. Get her boarding pass, do what you have to do, and take her to the plane." Well, all around the same time, and I hope I'm getting the name right, but I get called over to the desk, and there's a customer in front of the desk, and the agent is all excited and said, "This is," and I think she said Joe something. And I said, "Yes. What can I do for you?" She says, No, don't you recognize him?" I said, "No, I'm sorry. He's from the Backstreet Boys." I said, "The who?" God's honest truth. And they told me I was probably the only person in the world that never heard of the Backstreet Boys. So I never heard of the Backstreet Boys until that day, and I never heard of Missy Elliott until that day.
Is it Joey Lawrence?
I don't know. Who was there a Joe in the Backstreet Boys?
I think there's a Joey Lawrence. I thought that was his name, was Joey. I don't know. He's a musician. I don't know if he's Backstreet Boys.
Well, they told me it was somebody from the Backstreet Boys. I thought his first name was Joe. But, I said, "Hello, nice to meet you." The only guy I did recognize, and that was because of his orange shoes, and now I can't remember his name, was the chef that was pretty popular on TV.
Guy Fieri?
Who?
Guy Fieri?
I don't know, but he wound up getting in trouble for some kind of sexual something.
And he died?
I don't know if he died.
Is that the guy who died?
I don't know. He always wore orange Crocs. I recognized him because of his shoes, but I still don't remember his name. So and this was when I was out in the world. I still didn't know. There are certain things that stay in my memory and others that just, don't. So if you mention somebody popular today, I don't hear the music. I don't know their names. I don't watch TV. What can I say?
Question of the day for Mama Prey.
Yes.
John Araki.
Hi, John.
Do you know any Beyonce songs?
No, and I don't know what she looks like.
I think she kind of looks like Tawny Newsome, just like she has that color hair.
I don't know who Tawny Newsome is.
That's the woman on my screen.
Oh.
I mean, I don't. Her face is different. I believe her complexion and her hair color.
I don't know.
Are similar.
I really. It's terrible. Before everything was on a computer, and I used to listen to a radio, then I would at least hear names. But if I want to hear music now, I put on music that I know. So I really never get to hear anything new.
Yeah.
Okay, turning back to you. Sorry.
Plenty of good music. I already know. Why risk listening to something I don't?
But that's true. When you listen to a radio, a new song, a new artist would come up, and you know, I don't know how people find new things today. All right, I gotta go, guys.
Thank you, Mama Prey. Stanley says, I can't believe anyone estimated there was big enough market of fans who were big enough Star Wars LARPing enthusiasts to pay the premium prices to keep that place in business. Daniel says, Sisko is way better than Picard. Sisko rules, Picard drools. While I think that's true, that's a little mean. Stan Lee says, figure the hardcore fans all visited in the first couple months, and not exactly something that anyone can afford to make a regular return visit for basically the same experience again. Darth Maul says, is Avery Brooks okay? I understand he had a history of being eccentric, but is he healthy, hospitalized, or just off the grid? Darth Maul, from what we've heard from Sirach, he is healthy. He is just kind of off the grid. Though he's willing to make a comeback if he is paid enough. Basically, that's Sirach believes that Avery Brooke was, pardon the phrase, but kind of blacklisted for reasons. But that he would totally be willing to come back. And I think, Sirach, I was on a podcast with, on Orville Nation with PJ and Sirach and some other people. And Sirach said, no, Avery Brooks would totally be willing to come back. And he felt that Avery Brooks was kind of being held back for some racial reasons. So, obviously, I don't want any reasons to hold Avery Brooks back. I just hope that if Avery Brooks does come back, he's the Avery Brooks we remember and not some wokeified 2023, 2024 version of Avery Brooks, but we'll see. Dan Ben says there's a lot of famous people that were mentioned in that chat before that you, Berto Prey, never heard of, and they're quite known. I'm sure there were, but this was the one that she brought up, that she seemed like she was, if not angry at the white guy, that she couldn't believe any such person exists. And well, I exist, Tawny. So I don't know if the guy you spoke to was being honest with you, but if you had spoken to me, I was being honest. I would have been being honest with you if I said those exact same words. So I'm sorry that you cannot imagine that such a person exists, but I can, because I do. And I'm not denying your existence, so please don't deny my existence. Darth Maul says Sisko's body died, and his consciousness was uploaded to the Prophet's temple. Picard died, and his consciousness is uploaded to a positronic body. Who's more dead? Picard. So honestly, I was thinking about the DS9 finale a bit today when people were talking about, the last minutes of Sisko's life. And I kind of realized that there's a Ira Stephen Bear was on earlier today. And again, these is all from the Seventh Rule podcast YouTube channel. So go check out the Seventh Rule podcast channel for a whole bunch more of these. But Ira Stephen Bear was on this morning, and they were talking, and it made me think about the last, in the end of DS9, you had Sisko, Dukat, and Kai Wynn in the fire caves. And they all died. And there were no remains, right? There was no remains left. Dukat and Sisko fell into the fires of the bottomless pit. And Kai Wynn's body just was burnt away by the Pares. There were no bones, there was no ashes, there was nothing left of Kai Wynn. There was nothing left of Dukat, there was nothing left of Sisko, less maybe some bones at the bottom of the cave, but you really got the feeling like nothing would ever be found. So who tells the story to the Bajorans? How do they ever know what happened in the caves? Cassidy had an orb experience, or whatever you want to call it. Sisko visited Cassidy via a vision. So Sisko told Cassidy that he was with the prophets, but he didn't give any details as to what happened. He didn't give any details as to how Kai Wynn was conned by Dukat, but in the last minute redeemed herself. He didn't give any details about how he had to tackle Gul Dukat and, he saved Bajor, he saved the galaxy from the Pares. Who tells that story? Do the Bajorans ever find out? It wasn't something I thought about at the time. But now I kind of feel silly that I never thought of it. And I kind of think we need to find a way to tell that story. How is it? How does that story, how does what happened in the fire caves get told to the Bajoran people? I don't know. I just think I'd feel better. I'd feel better if there was a way. Darth Maul says, who's more dead? I read. Admiral Teague says, I'm baffled as to the Walgreens Beyonce connection. I don't know. Does Beyonce have, I'm guessing, like a line of makeup or something? And there's pictures of Beyonce at Walgreens. I'm just trying to. I'm grasping here. Or Beyonce have like soaps, like Beyonce soap. Soap by Beyonce. Now at your local Walgreens. Sean Carter says, I know Beyonce, but she could walk by me and I wouldn't know it was her because I don't care. That's true too. I mean, there's very few celebrities. Very few celebrities. I mean, if they're not sci-fi celebrities, that I would recognize. I mean, the names I might recognize, but by face, I would say it's probably 10%. 10% of your Hollywood celebrities. Hakeem says, I know Bouncy, but I haven't heard the song in years. Never heard of it. Stanley says, well, Beyonce, the Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah, they are, and I didn't watch. I didn't watch. Darth Maul says, all the single ladies. Beyonce has a beauty line. I guess it's carried there. Okay, so, I mean, I still wouldn't know because I don't go looking for beauty products. I never did, and I doubt I ever will. Admiral Teague says, all you single ladies might be the title of a Beyonce song. Crazy in Love says Darth Maul. Dan Ben says, Beyonce's been around since the 90s. She was in the group Destiny's Child. While I've heard of the group Destiny's Child, again, I would not be able to tell you a song. The Random Menace says, I am sure I could not name 3 Beyonce songs. Darth Maul says, Halo. John Araki says, question a day from Lab, I asked. Darth Maul says, if I were a boy, I assume that's a song name. The last on the case says, I know who Beyonce is, and I know who she is if she walked by me, but I also wouldn't care. Dan Ben says 3 Beyonce songs, Halo, Should Have Put a Ring on It, and If I Were a Boy. Well, Dan Ben, congratulations. You are the supreme Beyonce fan. Hakeem says, I can name more Backstreet Boy songs. I don't know that I would be proud of that, Hakeem. I'm not saying that this is something to be proud of, but Admiral Teague says, to name a song from 2021, just name any song more than 30 years old, and there will be a low-effort remake. Stanley says, Britney Spears. I can name like 1 Britney Spears song. Oops, I Did It Again. No, or was that Madonna? Wait, Britney Spears. Was it Oops, I Did It Again? Shit. I knew at the time there was a Britney Spears song. If I think long enough, I can. Oops, that's Madonna, I think. Stanley says Christina Aguilera. I've heard of her name. I have no idea what she looks like. Not a fucking clue. I have more of a clue of what Beyonce looks like than Christina Aguilera. Darth Maul says those are the titles of the 2 top of my head for Beyonce. She has a giant booty, says JP's. Dan Ben says, my mom has That's What I Call Music Now Too on tape cassettes. Darth Maul says, Beyonce is thick. Dan Ben says, Backstreet's back. Admiral Teague says, Beyonce looks a lot like Solange. I don't know who that is. Random Menace is Christina Aguilera. Random Menace is laughing at Admiral Teague. LDG says, just to clarify, Bird was openly listening to Baroque music in the underground yesterday. Dan Ben says 3 Britney songs. 3 Britney songs, Baby, Hit Me One More Time, Toxic, and Womanizer. Professor Brainy Specs is face palming. Darth Maul says Bootylicious is a Destiny's Child song. Last Son of K is laughing with LDG. Hakeem says, I know Aunt Jemima. Stanley says, I know Miley Cyrus and what's her name? JP says Tupac. Hey, no, Tupac was great. Tupac, even Tupac's music, I could appreciate. The Random Menace is a 6-pack is greater than a 2-pack. John Aragi says Birdo number 5. Now you see, yeah, I could do Mambo number 5. Lou Bega. If you need some Lou Bega songs, I could name a few. Words and Pictures says Bird wants to put a ring on Beyonce. Not particularly. Oh my God. We got a lot of chat. Professor says, Daniels, are you going to buy 10 more copies of Picard Season 2 before getting your apartment? Words and Pictures says hello to Mamo Frey, as does Sean Carter. Stan Lee says, Mbilla Inlesh, I know, but she's white. Professor Brainy Specs says, love you to Mamo Frey. Dan Ben says, I'm in my 30s. I like a wide variety of music, oldies, and some music from later on. Last Son of K gives a thumb up to Mamo Frey. Stanley says, Mamo Frey is a Beyonce fan, more of a J-Lo fan. Kronos has in the chat with Mamo Frey emojis. Welcome, Kronos. And Kronos says, well, there goes my lurking. The Random Nana says, I'm sure Bird knows some kids under the cinder block. Random Menace yells, rabbits like ouchies. And Kronos says, can't type, lurking. Dan Ben says, Missy Elliott songs, get your freak on. The Basco Scenario says hello. Kapla Basco Scenario. Kronos says, Mamo Frey likes the Backstreet Boys. Nope. Basco says hello to all those in chat. And Darth Maul says it was Joey Fatton. Stan Lee says, no, not the Who, the Backstreet Boys. Basco says hello to Mamo Frey. Stanley says the Who are way better than the Backstreet Boys. And Stanley says, wasn't that New Kids on the Block? Stanley says Joey Lawrence was the brother from Blossom with Mela Maybach, who was also on Big Bang Theory. Oh, Joey Lawrence was from Blossom. Okay. JP's is Bird of Prey. The chef was Mario Bentali. Mario Bentali with the orange Crocs. Words and Pictures is I've heard of Elvis. Gorilla says Lactovet Chipmunk mode. Stanley says don't think Guy Fieri is dead. He's the frosted tip chef. Sean Carter says most people ask me all the time, how's Beyonce? Because I have the same name as Jay-Z. John Araki says we need a Birdo Prey 5 Reacts video to Bootylicious. Darth Maul says Birdo Prey orange croc wearing chef is Mario Batali. Does Mamo Prey like Twisted Sister? I doubt it, Kronos, but she's not here at the moment. Stanley says she looks like Whitney Houston. Ms. Lundell says, don't feel bad, Mom. I only listen to dead people myself. Stanley says, light-skinned. Dan Van says, when I was younger, people used to do that. When they asked me to name someone famous, the most common answer would be Cher or Madonna. Stanley, the light-skinned black woman. Darth Maul says, literally the first Google is for orange croc wearing chef Mario Batali. And Chrono says, bye to Mamo Frey. Stanley says, you're not missing anything. The Random Menace says, Joey McKinsey was from New Kids on the Block. No Joey on Backstreet Boys. And Joey Fatone on InSync. I think it was the InSync. I remember Mamo Frey telling that story back in the day. I think it was InSync. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm reading the chats to myself, but I'm skipping a few to read. Yvette says, if you ask anyone, I didn't know who Adele was. I just don't listen to popular music. Last Son of K says, it's okay, Mama Pray. I really haven't played a lot of contemporary music for like 30 years. Most of the music I like is even older than that. And Chrono says, oh, great. Now I have 9 to 5 in my brain now. Chrono says, Avery Brooks is a prophet. The Random Menace says, I like the song from Doily Jolene. Kronos is Bird of Prey. You can call me Mr. Honky. Admiral Teague says Picard is surely more dead. Darth Maul says, I think Tawny is gobsmacked meeting someone who didn't know who Beyonce is. There are many of us who don't. Her sarcastic joke represents that. Kronos says Ducat is alive in hell. Darth Maul says Picard and Sisko are equally dead. Picard just gets the benefit of walking around physically. Miss Londell says, I think the Bajorans follow what their sacred writings tell them about what happens or happened and leave it at that. Kronos says Khan was in the last episode of Deep Space Nine. No. LDG says, actually just watched it again. Sisko didn't actually burn up, but Ducat and Cratchit did. Last Son of K says Lizzo. Kronos says lol, thank you. Admiral Teague says meeting Tom Brokaw was a letdown. He was an audible drunken jerk. Let's see. Darth Maul says a couple of weeks ago, I was out with a family in North Out, and James Corden and his family sat behind us. The whole atmosphere changed for those there. I knew it too. Mamo Frey, the chef was Mario Batali.
Mario, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's who it was. Last Son of K says Sisko is with the prophets. He could choose to come back and tell the tale, but he'd have to choose to. Well, whatever, he needs to do something. The story must be put out there. Admiral Teague says, oops, I did it again, is from about 1999, and it is Britney. Okay, so you see, I knew a Britney Spears song. That was my college years. Now, I didn't listen to Britney Spears, but one of my friends was a Britney Spears fan. So I knew the song. Kronos doesn't hate Mambo number 5. It was overplayed, however. I'm catching up in the chat by cheating, Kronos. I don't know if Mario Batali died. I know some famous chef died. Chrono says, why not have crackle music and snap music? I don't know what that means. You like crispy, like Rice Krispies? Gorilla's Random Thoughts puts in the bird of prey emojis. Chrono says, I did like Adele's Skyfall. Miss Londell says, it's the popular songs that everyone is listening to and actually spans musical genres. JP says, Bird of Prey, nobody truly listened to Britney Spears. We were just watching the videos for a wardrobe malfunction. You know, that's fair enough, JP's. I suspect that was true. I suspect that was true. And Kronos checked. Mario, the chef, still breathing. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Let's do Wordle, today's Wordle. Come on. First 5-letter word. Somebody put in a 5-letter word. And I will try to Wordle it. I have not played today's Wordle. Today's Birdle I got. Today's Birdle I did in 5. I got Birdle in 5. So we'll do Wordle today at this point. Douche is too big of a word, JP's. Chrono says, oh Lord, Birdle. Vulva. Vulva. I wish you were just a little bit faster, Mr. Londell. I wish you were just a little bit faster. Let's see. VULVA. And we got the L in the right place. And you know what? Let's try Louis, even though no, we don't want to. The U is not there. The L's in the wrong. No. Let's see. So AEIOU. So we have E and I and O. PILED. Piled.
Hi, Charlie.
No, we have an I.
Much fun.
Okay. MOL. I. Let's see. Molus. Is that a word? No. MOL.
Guess what?
LY.
Same thing as the
Molly. I know why. There is an O and there is an I, but neither are in the right place. That is very weird. How the hell is that possible? Where the hell would the O and the I be then? AEIOU.
right. That's what I'm.
I don't understand.
Still aching like the thing you did for this.
So is the first letter Is the first letter. No, because the second letter can't be I. The second letter can't be I or O. So then we have O, O, L, L. I don't understand this. I don't understand this at all. Antiderivative Jill says, I probably saw the best of the Sisko Day panels today with Scott McDonald, who played Tosk in Captive Pursuit, and Mort was actually live, and they called out my name at the end since I was in the chat. That's very cool, Antiderivative Jill. And Joe Biden says, I order you to try alligator. Alligator is more than 5 letters, President Biden. I thought the best one I saw today was the one with Ira Stephen Bear. Earlier in the one where I put the clip of Tawny Newsome. They had and I said this with all sincerity, and I know people think I'm joking when I say this, but I am not joking. I truly do believe O.J. Simpson was framed, okay? I do. I think he probably had something to do with the killing, but I don't think it happened like they said it did. And I do think that they planted evidence. I absolutely believe they planted evidence. Anyway, so Sirach Lofton was talking about how during the OJ trial, which was going on when Deep Space Nine was running, that, it was only him and Avery Brooks who were black, with this defining moment happening around them. And so, I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to believe with that. I mean, is that to say that they were the only ones celebrating when OJ was found not guilty, or what? I mean, I was in New York City high school at the time, and the class was broken up. About 30% of the class thought OJ was not guilty, and about 70% of the class thought OJ was guilty. But we were not broken up against racial lines. And I was in the minority of people who thought OJ wasn't guilty. And I remember, hearing it, and like, not that I was happy, but, I was okay. That, yeah, OJ got acquitted. So, but they brought this up in the panel today, and the way they brought it up was like, yeah, they were the only ones to talk about it. And now that there's more African Americans on the cast, that it would be less awkward, I guess, should the future happen. I really don't understand why the OJ trial had to come up today at all. But I put in the chat, I really hope that in Strange New Worlds, there's an episode where they finally find the real killers and that OJ is exonerated. And honestly, I was afraid I was going to get banned. I was afraid I was going to get banned. But once I put that in, and I didn't realize they were live. I thought we were watching a premiere. I had no idea that there was actually live chat and people were reading. Because I was the very beginning when I first clicked on. And people were actually reading the chats live. Now, of course, they didn't read my chat live. But I knew the moment I typed that out that any hope I had of having any of my later chats mentioned for the rest of the day were gone. I threw that away. So, but I think I will work on a script where in Strange New Worlds they find that OJ was actually not guilty and they exonerate OJ. LDG says, I just got it. Random Menace says, igloo. 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 Damn, Random Menace. Splendid. I'll be honest. I don't know that I would have ever figured that one out. I don't know that I ever would have figured that out. Cheat. LDG says effing cheat. It's not cheating. I just got the answer given to me. Antidote Jill says, haha, vulva. I thought that would be Jeej, but it was Kronos. Hi, Kronos. By the way, Antidote of Jill streamed last night. Antidote of Jill and Scotty on Antidote of Jill's channel. Another episode of her with her game. I forgot the name of her game, but it's very fun between her and Scotty. It's a very fun stream. So obviously, if you weren't awake to watch it, do try and re-watch it when you can. Tawny sounds like a stripper's name, says Kronos. How about guilty and framed? Well, here's what I'm thinking.
Indications negative at this time.
LDG with a $2 super chat. Yells cheat. Cheat. Thanks. Thanks, LDG. My thought was this. So they go back in time and like they have a shuttle or something and they have to emergency land near Nicole's house. Anyway, their act of landing interrupts OJ from committing the act. Okay, so OJ was on his way to kill Nicole, but the shuttle crash lands and disturbs OJ, and they actually bring OJ up to the ship because they're afraid he's going to die, and they don't realize what was about to happen, And so they fix him up. And then while he's on the ship, the scientists or whatever realize, holy shit, that's O.J. Simpson. And what was he on his way to do? Well, he was on his way to kill his ex-wife. So they have a conundrum. O.J. wakes up and O.J. realizes that he doesn't want to kill Nicole, and he decides that he's going to not kill Nicole, and he changes his mind. And Captain Pike realizes that if OJ doesn't kill Nicole, they will have changed history irrevocably changed history. Yeah, I can't pronounce that word. You know what I mean. And so Captain Pike
Indications negative at this time.
tries to get OJ to change his mind, and they can't. So Captain Pike talks with Spock and the doctor, and they come up with only one conclusion. Captain Pike has to kill Nicole. And then they plant the evidence to make it look like OJ did it. And then they fly home thinking that they made it look like an innocent man killed his wife, because in the history they had, that's what happened. But instead, what happened was OJ, rightfully so, got exonerated, because OJ really didn't kill his wife, because the time, he got intercepted by the change in the timeline. And so that the history we have now was in fact the history of because Pike's shuttle crash land. I think that's a pretty good script. Like, I honestly think that's a solid script. I don't know. If Paramount was still accepting fan scripts, I would probably try to polish that up and send it in. It's a fake. Captain Fandom Nerd with a $2 super chat says, good job, Cheeto Prey 5. LDG with a $2 super chat says, no problem, you cheat. And Jedi Bill donated $1.50 super chat. Thank you so much, Jedi Bill. So what do you guys think? Do you think that's a decent story? Andrew Joe's gonna go back and watch the rest of the panels later. Yeah, definitely. At least some of them. Admiral Teague says, how about guilty and framed? Bird helped OJ kill, says Thomas. Mike Richards says, and then OJ knocked on Bird's door. Kronos says, wow, Bird is into conspiracy theories. And Kronos says, AOC was involved. And Hakeem says, Bird was driving the white Jeep. That was a white Bronco. A shooter says, ahoy, ahoy, shooter. Kronos says, it was her glove. And LDG says, I just got it. Wow, that was tough. Be right back.
If doing things different is your style, Genesee Cream Ale is your brew. Ever since we got a wood stove, I've got the lowest heating bill around.
Yeah, and the biggest thirst.
Next time that you're thirsty, make Jenny Cream your brew. The taste is something different. It's smoother drinking too.
I like it, 'cause there's nothing like it.
It's different.
Genesee Cream Ale.
This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions? It's yours?
No,
Your mother said she found it in your closet.
I don't know. One of the guys must
Must have what?
Look, Dad, it's
Where
not
did you get it?
Dad,
Answer me. Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
Learned it by watching you. Admiral Teague says, did Avery know OJ? I don't know. I don't know. JP says Avery was driving the white Bronco. LDG is angry at the cheating. JP says Berto Bray, OJ wasn't guilty. I know. Andrew Jill says I was in the 3rd grade. So this trial really didn't worry any of us. Gorilla says cheater. Kronos says mucho cheeto. Thomas Potts is handing him the answer, takes all the fun out of it. Why bother watch him? You do it then. Kronos says Scotty Doo. And Antidote of Jill says your Strange New World script will be better than the real Strange New World. Thank you. Thank you. God damn it. I need to get it made. Mr. Londell says, I'll be running a few movies in my Cosme room after bed life. And he puts the link to the Cosme room. Dan Ben says, I saw the film trailer earlier for a remake of the film The Color Purple. The original one had Whoopi Goldberg. Kronos' cheat is a good start to the next Wordle. Stanley got it in 4. Stanley says Birtle in 3. And Kronos' cheat is 5 letters. That is true. We can start off the next Wordle with cheat, if someone reminds me. The Longest Journey is the name of the point-and-click adventure game, says Antidote of Jail. Yes, The Longest Journey is a fun journey with her and Scotty. Thomas Potts says, Kronos, I start every Birtle with cheat. Oh, that's good to know. Kronos says, wow, they just can't stop using the word diversity, can they? Dan Benz of Scooby-Doo made his debut on September 13th, 1969. Scooby-Doo, where are you? The Random Menace says, I like OJ, but not after toothpaste. Admiral Teague's Strange New Worlds would accidentally stuff Nicole and Ron while OJ tries to save them. That's possible too. Thomas Potts' bird is drunk. Antidote Jill is laughing. Admiral Teague says, I think Ortega's is more likely to ask to kill the people, but okay. Yeah, that could be. The juice was framed, says JP's. Dan Van says, in the new Star Wars Jedi Survivor video game, there's a villain character that shouts it's fake. Don't know if they were copying Star Trek. Kronos says, maybe the wife was an axe murderer. Kronos says, so self-defense. It's a steak, says Kronos. Daniel's Hot Topic says the sound, that sounds like what Gene Roddenberry wanted to do in Star Trek II. Gene Roddenberry wanted the Klingons to go back in time and stop Kennedy and prevent the Federation from being created. I had never heard that one, Daniel. JB says, so I just did Wordle in one word. Congrats. Daniel says, but in the end, they would have stopped the Klingons, and Spock had to be the one who shot Kennedy and restore the timeline. Kronos says, keep on polishing. Last on the case is I don't think there's any polishing that'll help that script. Antidote of Jills loves the PSAs. Kronos says, that's your brain on Bird. Sean PRK says, Bird of Prey, Bird, Thursday, June 1st is National Game Show Day. Come on down. Dan Ben says, the original title of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, as a gesture of good faith, Paramount changed the film's title from original working title, The Vengeance of Khan. LDG says, just make it your title for Friday. What? Cheat? Gorilla says, well, it's time of year to go throughout my worm and see if something pulls its mouth. Wait, what? Well, it's the time of year to go throughout my worm and see if something puts its mouth around it. I don't know what they're talking about. Okay. Anyway, what time is it? Oh, geez, it's already 6:30. Wow. All right. Let's skip to the Dear Bops. Let's skip to the Dear Bops. Oh, wow. We got quite a bit. Okay. Dear Bop, I assume that's the Big Bang Theory. Chuck Lorre, number 485. Didn't we see this one already? A big baby. I guess that's Chuck Lorre as a big baby. And that's just the way Mama Pray used to cover me. You didn't see any pictures of naked me as a baby. Mama Pray would always put a towel or something over me to cover up the naughty bits. Dear Bob, I don't know this person, JB, but lots of people I follow are tweeting about his death, so I looked him up on Google. Was he that important? Oh, Jim Brown. I'll be honest, until I heard he died, I really had no idea who he was. Just like I really don't follow music, I didn't really follow football too much. If he wasn't on the New York Giants in the 1990s, and even then, not all, I probably didn't know who he was. Dear Bob, I would like to dedicate these song lyrics to you. Oh, you make me live, or you make me live. Whatever this world can give to me, oh, you make me live now. Oh, you make me live. I've been with you a long time, and I want you to know that my feelings are true. Oh, you're the best friend. Oh, you make me live. Sounds like a parasite, but okay. Thank you. Dear Bob, why is today Sisko Day? I'm all about the best captain in history of track, but I don't know what this is about. This is a day that supposedly is the brainchild of Sirach Lofton, the actor who played Jake Sisko, and it's an attempt to try to get Avery Brooks back on Star Trek again in either a TV show or a movie or some type of role to bring back Captain Sisko, bring back Avery Brooks to the screen. Dear Bob, your Bertle word today was close to describing a certain retro gamer YouTube. Instead of still, you should have swapped the T with the H. Soft putty. Nobody likes you, soft putty. I mean, you might be okay as a person, but your comments are not cared for. Dear Bob, your opinion is required. I saw on Twitter a plus-size woman complaining about a small plane seats, saying that the airline should give the plus-size people a free second seat. I think that, let's say this is, as it is, morbidly obese people should pay for the seat. Well, as somebody who was formerly morbidly obese and still a big person, I would have loved the ability to pay for a second seat next to me. The problem, the airlines had no way of doing it. The airlines had no way of doing it.
Excuse me.
Yes, Mama Frey.
You hardly ever flew JetBlue. We did it.
No, even on JetBlue, I couldn't guarantee that you could pick a seat, but usually the middle seat you couldn't pick.
People bought 2 seats.
Maybe they did if you called them on the phone, but if you wanted to buy the seat through their website, you didn't have a way of picking 2 seats next to each other.
Should have called.
I didn't want to call. It was 2000s. People calling was like old style.
Well, we used to do it all the time.
Okay, but
unfortunately,
mm-hmm.
sometimes they wound up giving them 2 seats separated.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, that's exactly.
And that was a problem.
Right. The problem was that you couldn't guarantee the 2 seats next to each other. What the hell is the point of buying a second seat if it's somewhere else on the plane? No, the problem was that they couldn't get 2 seats next to each other. I'm not going to pay for 2 seats that aren't next to each other. That's bullshit. I would have loved to be able to pay double and get an empty seat next to me. I would have done it every time. Okay? The problem is that the system isn't set up to do that. So, also, though, the person that this whole started over, that claimed to be 130 pounds, was clearly over 200 pounds. Okay? So I have I have 0 F's to give that she was quote unquote forced to use a baggage scale. You know, it's just because they don't have a fucking scale anywhere else. Okay, did it really matter if it was a baggage scale or they pulled out a bathroom scale? Would it have really mattered? No, it didn't matter. The problem was the woman lied. She lied about her weight. She's not 130 pounds. She was probably 230 pounds. And I'm not saying that like it's fucking evil or anything. God knows I weighed more than that. But I wouldn't lie and say I weighed 150 pounds when I know I weighed 360. Fuck, I would have gone the other way. I would have said I weigh 450 just because I want to be damn sure that they've got the weight. Hey, what the fuck? Lie and say that you weigh less and then they don't have enough gas on the plane to get where you're going? Well, at least nobody thinks you're fat, you stupid idiot. No. Fuck them. I really, I get it, you know, people don't want to be weighed, but then don't lie. Don't be so obvious. I'd be fine with everybody being weighed to get on the plane. They put a scale out on the jet bridge, and as you go by, it just counts the weight so that they know the people coming on, or the people plus the luggage coming on, you know, is whatever a certain amount it is. The Random Menace is Bird does not follow sports nor movies, does not follow music, sports, nor movies. I think he watches his CCTV as a reality show. To be completely honest, that's probably true. That is probably true. Mr. Londell says Jim Brown, fullback for the Cleveland Browns from 1957 to 65, considered to be one of the greatest running backs of all time, as well as one of the greatest players in NFL history. Well, why doesn't he have a video game? Like, in all honesty, Mr. Londell, the only NFL players I know, quote, greatest players of history are Joe Montana and John Madden? Joe Madden? John Madden. Because they had football games. They had video games named after them. Joe Montana 2, Sports Talk Football for Sega Genesis. And John Madden. You could do an all Madden team. Andrew Jill says that's what I was afraid of, but it looks like Sisko Day is just a genuine celebration of his character that makes me very happy. Overall, it is. Overall, it is a celebration of Captain Sisko, and you know, a very nice day. The Random Menace is Kronos is a physical activity. It's unpleasant, but it makes you slim and fit. Oh, sports. Sports is a physical activity. Daniel's Hot Topics is, oh my God, please, please, please. I hope they will be successful and get Avery Brooks back as Captain Sisko. Kronos says, oh yeah, DS9, still my favorite Star Trek show. Admiral Teague says these new track riders will destroy Sisko in 5 minutes or less. Kronos says slim and fits are also words I don't comprehend. Dan Ben says my favorite Star Trek show is DS9. Kronos says, welcome back, Mamo Pray. Kronos says, this is possibly a bird rant. Andrew Jill says, she was in first class. She had no quarter to complain. Also, I doubt you were ever as big as this poor lady. She was beyond morbidly obese. She's not long for this world. Maybe maybe I saw a different picture. The picture I saw was of a dark-skinned lady standing on a scale, looking quite sad. She had a big booty, particularly big booty, and big boobs. I would have figured her to be around 250 to 300 pounds. Oh, really? Okay, Mama Pray saw an even bigger, but I must have seen somebody else. Well, if it's a small plane, I was on a small plane once where they sat me down, the pilot came out, looked at me, pulled me up, and put me somewhere else. Yeah, there. And he put me in the center of the plane. I was on the edge, I was on the side. He moved me to the center. He's like, sit there. It was only a 20-minute flight across the islands in Hawaii. But he didn't have to tell me twice. He didn't have to tell me twice. It was like, okay, if it's going to matter where I sit, I'm not moving. Bring back the Sisko, says Daniel. Pleasant Valley Picker, kapla, Pleasant Valley Picker. Dan Van says, I was on a bus once as a kid. This obese guy sits next to me. I don't really like to talk to guys. Stood up and jumped over to the next seat when I needed to get off. Believe me, as a fat person, we don't want to sit next to people either. Okay? We didn't like being there. Okay? The only thing worse than being a fat guy on a plane is being a fat guy on a plane blocking somebody else from being able to get past me. You know, I used to try to get the window seat, and I would just not get up. If it was a short flight, like a 2 or 3, maybe even a 4-hour flight, I would just take the window seat and not get up the whole flight and not have to be a bother to anyone. Because I could not get past. For me to get out of my seat, everybody else in the row had to get up. If I had the aisle seat, then I had to get up, but I didn't mind getting up. And I told the people there, said, listen, if at any time you need to get up, just let me know, I'll get up. I don't mind getting up. You know, in fact, I like to stretch my legs. I'll be happy to get up and let you walk past. You don't have to awkwardly push your way through me. You know, I don't need you to rub your ass up against my kneecaps for you to get out of here. It's, you know, it's a very awkward situation to be in for everybody. Pleasant Valley figures I would have said I was Andre the Giant if he wasn't dead. Pleasant Valley figure is fat and okay with that. Pretty hard to look thin when you're not. This is true. Tony Montana. Oh yeah, Tony Montana. Tony Montana. Oh, and the guy who had the Flutie Flakes. I forget his name. Flutie. I didn't know Flutie Flakes were a real thing. I thought it was a joke. And he's like, no, his son, he named it after his son. Like, what? Flutie Flakes? What the fuck are you talking about? Flutie Flakes. I didn't know. I didn't know. Pleasant Valley Pickers says, I feel weird being a video game character. Please don't reboot DS9. Would be a woke train wreck, says Pleasant Valley Picker. Canada, excuse me. Admiral Teague says, hey there, Pleasant Valley Picker. Bruno says, Booty, there's always junk in the trunk. Can you pick him up is the question. Darth Maul says she's right up Bird's alley. Pleasant Valley Picker says, I never cared for a huge woman. I prefer petite gals, but they are out of my league. Kronos says, every gal is out of my league. I know the feeling, Kronos. I know the feeling. Pleasant Valley Picker says, Kapla, Bird, Kapla. Sean PRK says, Bird, still not sure why people want to reboot Perfection. And nobody wants to reboot Perfection. It's just some people feel that there's more of Sisko to be told. And for all the problems I have with Ira Stephen Bear, or Stephen Ira Bear, whatever, however you say his name, Mr. Bluebeard himself, he still, to this day, is, you know, as of this morning, he made it very clear that as far as he's concerned, Captain Sisko's story is over. That there isn't anything more that needs to be said about Captain Sisko. Now, getting Avery Brooks back into Star Trek, maybe with something else, I don't know. But Ira Stephen Bear says that, you know, he's happy. He's happy they told Sisko's story. Sisko finished what he had to do. He said in his mind, if Sisko ever did return, Sisko would simply be living on Bajor with Cassidy Yates, and he would be a reluctant religious figure who from time to time would go into town when absolutely needed for something. But the great majority of his day would just be him and Cassidy, you know, on their own property, in the forest or the land, away from everybody. And Sirach or Jake and family would visit from time to time. That would be Captain Sisko and Cassidy's future on Bajor. And also, in his mind, that he would have resigned from Starfleet. You know, that he'd put the uniform away. He was done with Starfleet. He was just a religious figure at this point. And you know what? I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Darth Maul says Bird wants to be the one doing that? I don't know. Kronos says this is a Bird rant for sure. Pleasant Valley Pigger says stretching legs is healthy. Darth Maul, how many dear bops today? A lot. Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie, says Admiral Teague. Doug Flute. Flutie Flakes sounds like a cereal. They were a cereal. It was a cereal. JP says Doug Flutie, best quarterback Stampeders ever had. Kronos says Sisko didn't have to marry. Things might have worked out. Sean PRK says I wasn't talking about rebooting Sisko. I was reboots in general. Gotcha. Okay, let's keep Dear Bops. Dear Bop, was it wrong to teach my kid when he gets into a fight to take the cheap shot and then start punching in the face? Well, no. You should teach your kid to avoid physical fights if at all possible. But if he is going to get in a physical fight, he should win. Dear Bop, I think we all should have emergency calls. So if something happens with us, the person can let the community know.
I'm glad somebody said.
Mom O'Fray is glad somebody said that.
I was going to say.
She was going to say that. But she didn't want to seem too much like a mom. That's a solid idea. I mean, I know I have contact info for several people. So God forbid something happens. Someday somebody will find out. If anybody would like to send me their contact info, email or Twitter DM, I can keep it together. Yes, Mom O'Fray.
Mike Richards still here?
Mike Richards, if you're still here, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Antiderivative Jill says, see you guys later. So she's leaving. Mike Richards.
All right. Just say.
They can hear you. I don't know.
All right. Well, all right.
Mike Richards, you have my email. If you have a phone number or something, it would make Mom O'Fray happy.
Well, actually, I have one question. You could just.
Yes, he's here.
Okay. Well, that's the one question. Now, number two, without giving out too much information, is there anybody named Brian that would have had information that something had happened to you?
This is how close we got, Mike Rich.
Like somebody where you live or had something to do with where you live.
Okay.
He could say just yes or no. And if it's no, then I had the wrong person.
Yeah, so that would have been our next call. Doug Flutie was a star quarterback in the Canadian Football League, says Pleasant Valley. Okay. So yeah, if anybody wants to send me their emergency contact info, you can send it to bertofray5@aol.com or direct message me on Twitter or on my Discord. You can direct message me on Discord. Dear Bob, I think we should all have emergency calls. Okay, I read that. Dear Bob, drafts do this. And we got a couple of links. JP says go stamps. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm aware of this. I hesitate to play it. to play those on the stream. Dear Bird, this is Defonda Reams. Oh, okay. Mike Richards says, I sent you an email today. Brian is a cousin, but I haven't talked to him in 20 years. I don't think that was the Brian then.
No, no.
No. Yeah, that wasn't the Brian that we had.
No,
Model Private
wasn't the
Family.
one.
Thank you, Mike Richards. I'll check the email. Chronos says, you never use your Discord. I do, Chronos. I don't sign in on Discord. I use it in invisible mode, but I do check it from time to time. Dear Bird, this is Defonda Reams. I know I have not been on your love streams as of late. I have great news. I will be the host of a new game show in Azerbaijan. It's called the Azri Challenge. I will send you pictures if I can. I have to run and catch the bus. Have a great of days, Mr. Reams. Thank you. Gary Katzer says, Sisopray. Says, did I hear Sisopray went to Disney and stayed on property, and you didn't ask for tips from someone who has stayed on property multiple times in the last 18 months? I didn't know. I didn't know she was staying on property until she told us. Sisopray does not give us heads up on her itinerary. Dear Bob, Joey Lawrence was an actor. He was on Blossom. Whoa. Joey Fatone was in the Backstreet Boys. Thank you. Dear Bob, if I were a boy, even just for a day, I'd roll out of bed in the morning and throw on what I wanted, then go drink a beer with the guys and chase after the girls. I'd kick it with who I wanted. I'd never get confronted for it because they'd stick up for me. There you go, sung a Beyonce song. Well, that's a stupid song. Dear Bob, remember those walls I built? Well, baby, they're tumbling down, and they didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. I found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, I got my angel now. Thank you, Beyonce. If those are Beyonce songs, I feel like I certainly haven't missed anything. Dear Bob, oi me schlugger, you think I've got bad takes when it comes to conspiracy theories. You should see your own. It's such a bad take that I wouldn't even crack jokes about it. And I joke about everything. I don't even need a 10 hat for your conspiracy theory because it's that see-through. Hacklefish. Hecklefish. P.S. Harvey Cthulhu is my bitch. Yeah. You say that, but if your bowl breaks, you die. If Harvey Cthulhu's bowl breaks, everybody dies. Dear Bob, Gene Roddenberry's abandoned Star Trek II film concept. Well, that's great, but I don't want to read a whole other thing. I will open it and check it out later. Gene Roddenberry's abandoned Star Trek II film concept. Well, whatever. There's the link. It's on trekmovie.com for anybody who wants to see it. I don't know when this is dated. No. Dear Bob, out fishing. Dear Bob, the slim, fat girl. Uh, Dear Bob, this Expedia notifying you of a buy one, get one free seat special. And if you call today, we guarantee you the seats will be next to each other. A joke. Dear Bob, how to find romance at 30,000 feet. How to find in-flight romance at cheapflights.canada. How to meet at 30,000 feet. KLM Royal Dutch Airlines meet and seat. Allow travelers to get a sneak peek at passengers on their planes. To participate, passengers share their Facebook, LinkedIn, or Google Plus profiles. How old is this? And turn in and show other passengers social media profiles. Passengers can choose the seat next to someone they find interesting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is no longer in service. Dear Bob, why is it every time I try to be funny, I get accused of sexual harassment? I don't know. You're probably being funny around the wrong people. Dear Bob, Twitter, LDG's Twitter. Enjoy tomorrow's Birdle with a side of Cheetos. Wordle. There's my picture and Wordle game. And Cheetos spells Cheetos. Made with real cheat. Okay, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. The made with real cheat. Now it should say cheat flavored snacks. But very good. Very good. Dear Bob, did you see this video Captain Foley posted? No. What the hell is going on? A strange orb caught on camera. That is clearly video being taken through glass. And this orb is in the glass behind the camera. It's probably like somebody aiming a flashlight or even an IR remote out the window. This strange glowing orb appeared on a security camera at 3:39 a.m. Very likely just a spider web or insect antenna, not a laser pointer based on where the camera is pointed. Someone would have had to have been on our roof, so not sure what it is, but pretty cool. Yeah, okay. That is weird. That is weird. I'll give him a thumbs up. I will give him a thumbs up. The Random Menace is great stream, almost 1 a.m. here. So take care, good night, and kapla. Thank you, Random Menace, and thank you all. Yeah, it is a long one today, and we'll be calling it. We'll be calling it here in just a minute. Kronos is lolling and haven't seen Family Guys in years. JP's misses Google Plus. Kronos is Cheetos. Hakeem's is lol. I'd buy one of those. Kronos says there would be nothing in the bag. What a cheat. Just Karogan, sir. And Kronos says it's a UFO. JP says someone has a fire chicken in the garage. And Dan Ben, I don't want to see to watch if it's insects. I hear ya. I hear ya. Anyway, guys, thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. Yeah, you know, you could keep watching Seventh Rule for more Sisko Day videos. Head over to the underground at freethenet.org/underground. And otherwise, kapla all. Farewell to Columbus, Ohio, Mike Richards. Thank you guys all for the chats, the donations, the super chats, the purchased members for everybody. All greatly appreciated. Thank you everybody who made a post. It was good to see you. And Professor says take care. And Hakeem says see you all. That was a great stream. Thank you all. Thank you, Kronos. Thank you, Mike Richards. Thank you, Professor, JP's, Dan Ben, and everyone else here today. Kapla all. Bird out.